How can you not care?
Like this.
So is it something like this that happens when you procrastinate, or you relate more to this, when you feel guilty for not working but you are still not working? Which of these scenarios do you relate to more when it comes to procrastination? So to all those who are inclined towards Joey and friends, sadly it's not the answer this time. When you do not care about the task, that's not how procrastination is. Just like the man sitting in that meme was feeling guilty about not working, knowing that the task was pretty important, that's how procrastination really feels. Kashika here from kashikagulati.com. So that's precisely the difference between laziness and procrastination. When you are lazy, you just don't care about the task, just like Joey did not. But when you procrastinate, it's because you know that the task is important, you know that there's a set deadline, and yet you continue to delay it for some or other reason. Now, what the reasons could be, let's try and find them out. So, I want to ask you all another question here. When you delay the task by some time, generally the excuse that you come up with, what is it among all these options? One is that the task is too boring and time taking and you do not want to devote time to it. Or another could be you don't know exactly how to approach the task and you may have to sit and figure that out, and it would take a lot of time and effort. And to not face that whole situation, you keep procrastinating it. Or is it because you are a perfectionist and you want your task to be done just perfectly well, and because you are scared that you may not be able to do it as well, that you keep procrastinating it? Or there's another scenario which I'm sure a lot of you resonate with, is that you know that you'll be able to do the task really well, you'll be successful at it, but as soon as you do it well, you know that you'll be swamped with more work, and to just avoid that thing, you keep procrastinating. So it could be every or any of the reasons that you may give yourself while procrastinating the task. I'm not asking this to you to make you feel worse about yourself, but to actually move towards the strategies. But before we do that, there's a disclaimer for all of you. Any person who has anxiety, depression, OCD, or any other mental health issue, these strategies that I'm going to talk about in today's video won't really work. When it comes to any such issue, then that issue needs to be addressed by a mental health professional. So make sure that you visit a mental health professional when you feel that the problem runs deep. Now, going back to the excuses that we make. Why do you think we make such excuses in the first place? There could be a lot of reasons, and it's important to know those reasons just so we can understand the kind of techniques we need to use, and are also aware that why we procrastinate. Is it a habit, just a bad habit that we have, or there's a reason behind it? So the reasons we make a lot of excuses may be like you feel that you want to protect your self-esteem from not doing the task well, or that you are a perfectionist and you want that you do the task perfectly well, nothing less is acceptable to you, or that you feel overwhelmed by the task, the time it takes, the effort it takes to do it, or that you have a fear of evaluation and negative feedback. What if you fail at the task? So any and all of these reasons could play a role when it comes to you procrastinating the task. So now moving on to the strategies to beat procrastination. Now all of these strategies, here's a warning, will take effort, will require you to move out of your comfort zone and do something more, because as much as the excuse is one of the big reasons, it's also a habit of procrastination that you need to change, and changing habits is not easy. So one very important step is get things done plan. I'm very sure a lot of you must have heard of it, that you have to divide the task into 5 to 7 achievable steps. So I'll give you an example. I was also procrastinating shooting this video. what I did was that I made a list. I divided shooting the video into 5 to 7 steps. For example, one was writing the script, another was preparing the material to show to you guys, another was setting up the whole thing, having the mic and camera in place and all of that. Another was deciding upon the day when I wish to shoot the video. So those were all the steps that were involved in it. But once I was able to list them down, I could actually feel that it's not that big of a task, that it is achievable, that it is the steps that I've laid down, they are concrete and they are meaningful. When I was able to do that, it's really good if you put a tick mark in front of all the subtasks that you are doing, because it also gives a kick to your brain, to your hormones, that you have done a part of it, and you will also feel the motivation to continue and do more of it. So that's about get things done plan. Another is when you feel that that this task is important, right? But you still aren't doing that, and comes a moment when there were 5-6 tasks that were very important for you, and yet you did not do them. To get overwhelmed one single day when you know that all those 5-6 tasks have accumulated and now you need to do them together. So to avoid that situation, what you need to do is that come up with a list of benefits of doing the task as the tasks arise. For example, I know that I have to clean my cupboard today, but I've been procrastinating it for say 2 weeks. So all you need to do is make a list of all the benefits of doing that task. And if you are only able to come up with say 5-6, then you are at the knowledge stage. You just know that it's important, that's it. But go on, write more, write as many benefits as you can think of. That when you are able to come up with 15 to 20 of them, do you get to the acceptance stage. And you know how that acceptance stage also comes? By practicing it. I know that the solution is in the problem itself here, so you need to put in that effort, but do make a list of all the benefits so that you are also motivated. Now don't get me wrong, motivation is not needed every single time when you do a task. I'm very sure that not many of you are motivated to wake up in the morning to start with your work and household chores, but yes, it will definitely help. Now the next strategy is that keep a to-do list and prioritize the tasks. Now the key to doing that is, one, there are tasks that are both important and urgent. Then there are some which are important and not urgent. The third category is not important but urgent, and the fourth category is not important and not urgent. So all you have to do is you have to list down the tasks in these 4 categories and then decide how you want to move forward with them. If you feel like procrastinating, ask yourself at the moment, what is a must to doing this task? What is it that's absolutely required to do this task? Is it motivation? Is it mood? Is it sitting in a comfortable place? I'm sure none of these fit into the criteria. You may want to, but then they do not. It's the skills that are required to do the task. So start with the most important and urgent task. Then go to the one that is urgent, but you may not feel it to be important. And then proceed in that way. Once you have a clear idea in your head, then you will better be able to do it. Because at times what happens is when we are escaping something, we do not even see clarity on it, because getting clarity makes it even more need of the hour to act on it. So rather than escaping that whole process, put that into place, face the discomfort, and then have all the comfort you want of doing the task that you feel are enjoyable for you, pleasant for you. So that's one technique. Another, a very famous one given by a cognitive behavior therapist, is PURRRR technique. So I know that the name is very funny for that matter, but this task requires you to pause whenever you feel that oh my god, I don't want to do it, and you are going back to the habit of procrastinating. Pause and utilize that time in reasoning with yourself. and reason by asking yourself, what must happen for me to do this task? When you reason, I'm very sure you will come up with a very logical thing and reflect on it. Reflect, and then what you have to do is respond. That's when you will logically be able to come up with the conclusion, you know, whether to do this task at the moment and not procrastinate it further so that you can enjoy the other things, or you can do some other things right now and probably take it up after an hour or two. That's for you to decide, of course, but make that matrix, make those 4 columns, and then decide how to move ahead and repeat the whole process. But it's very important that whenever you have this instinct to postpone the task, to procrastinate it, you pause, utilize the time in thinking, reason with yourself, reflect upon it, respond, and repeat the cycle. That's how you will be able to logically come to a decision. Now, these were the 4 main techniques that I gave you. Now, another one, not exactly a technique, but which will really help you to, achieve all the tasks, is having an accountability partner. When trying to break a habit and make a new one, you may need somebody to check on you. So, have any colleague of yours you are close to, or any friend of yours, take accountability. So, for example, when I right now I'm trying to wake up early in the morning and ensure that I do 30 minutes of exercise every day, I have asked a friend of mine to check with me every single day to ask me if I am following on those things. When that happens, it gives me a kick that I have to do it. It gives me that somebody else is checking on me. When I myself may not be able to do that on my own, then having somebody else check on you is a great way to ensure that you are on the track of doing things. So I'm sure that procrastination may not feel like as much of a problem to many as of now, but know that it's when you work on the small things in your life, the big things fall into place. If you are able to manage your habit of procrastination, if you are able to do things better, then trust me, you will be able to see major differences in your life. When you organize little things, the big things get organized themselves. So this is the chance to do that. This is the chance to prove to yourself that your word has value. When you make a promise to yourself but do not follow, you are telling yourself that my word doesn't have any value, and that's like one of the worst things that you can do to yourself. Believe in yourself while making promises to yourself. Have a plan in place, know how to go about it, and push yourself to do it. Do not wait for motivation is not an essential part. Skills are the essential part to doing it. So stop giving yourself excuses. Even if you are trying to come up with excuses, get to the bottom of them, try to address them, and if you need help, do approach a mental health professional. And stay tuned for more videos, and let me know in comments if you want me to cover some topic that you are already struggling with. Thank you for watching.